My name is Ken. This year, I'm turning 35. As for my job, I'm the president of a cleaning company. Today, I was out on site, doing some reconnaissance. Hey mister, this place is dirty. Oh, thanks for letting me know. I have a bit of a concern. Hey lady, don't come in when I'm using the facilities. Oh, sorry. That's what a man yelled, and out came Kathy from the men's restroom she was cleaning. She's a newcomer who just started cleaning this building this month. Anyone who meets her would probably think she's always exhausted. She always seems worn out. Still, I would have never imagined someone like her doing this kind of work. Kathy, I've told you to put up a sign when you're cleaning the toilets. Oh, sorry. She bowed her head, trembling slightly, and I couldn't help but sigh. If you can't remember what you're told, you need to take notes. I can't keep repeating myself. I'm sorry. It's not enough to just apologize. You need to show it through your actions. She didn't respond, just kept looking down. I know I'm being harsh, but it's part of the job. I'll do my best. Yes, that's all you can do. Once I teach someone how to do a job, it needs to be done right. Otherwise, the company can't function. I'm not going to get fired, am I? That depends on how much you put into it. Yes, she answered without raising her head. Also, when you talk, can you at least lift your head? It's hard to hear you. Oh, sorry. You don't need to apologize for that. Yes, sorry. See, you're apologizing again. You're right. Maybe I do apologize too much. A small smile finally appeared on her face. Looking at her, I can't help but see a bit of my younger self. Maybe that's why I can't just leave her. My family was poor, and after my dad's business failed, we were chased by debt. That's why I gave up on advancing to high school and started working at a cleaning company right after middle school. I chose it, hoping to help my parents even a little. But there was this woman who would mock me for cleaning. Skipping high school to become a cleaner. Unbelievable. Her sneering face is something I can't forget. Yeah, unlike you, living off your parents, I can buy what I want with my own money, and if I set my mind to it, I could save up and even go to college. I glared back at her. I hated being mocked by someone who was still supported by their parents. What did you say? I could have my dad fire you any time. Her face turned red as she shouted at me. Yeah, and then the company would get a bad rep for letting an employee go just because of a daughter's tantrum. Come on, why do you have to be so cheeky? Remember this. She stormed off like that for the day. Looking back now, she might have been taking out her irritation on me, the irritation of her parents pushing and giving her all sorts of things. But that was just a mature lashing out. Yet, decades later, I can painfully relate to how she felt. I, too, had been living while suppressing the urge to lash out my irritations on someone else. And yet, without being harsh to others, I somehow managed to get by up to this point. Maybe that's why I couldn't forgive her even more. A few days later, Kathy, who had been working without any absences, suddenly took a day off from work. When I asked the manager what happened, he replied, "She's quitting, I'm afraid. She just told us yesterday. It was sudden, and I apologize." No way. Hearing that she quit out of the blue, my mind went blank. Remembering how Kathy had tried her best despite all the warnings, I couldn't stay put and found myself heading to her house. "Are you sure you're okay?" "I'm fine. I'll be back in about 30 minutes." I told the driver and got out of the car. The place I was looking for was Kathy's apartment complex. To put it kindly, it wasn't pretty. Who would have thought that she, originally the daughter of the president, would be living in a place like this? Is it really okay for her to quit her job? My concern slipped out as a murmur. "Yes, this is Kathy." I rang the doorbell, and a worn-out-looking Kathy opened the door with a vacant expression. She was startled to see me in my designer suit. "Ken, is that you? Wait, what's with the outfit?" In that moment, her face clouded over rapidly. "Are you here to mock me?" It was she who used to sneer at me when she used to lead a rich life as the president's daughter. Her face, about to cry, turned towards me. "No, I'm just worried about you, Kathy." I gave her a gentle smile. "Worried? Are you satisfied to see how poor and fallen I've become? That's not what I think at all." At my words, tears started to overflow from her eyes. Covering her face with her hands, she sobbed, "I'm sorry. I've only just realized how awful I was to you. I don't even know how to apologize. Why did you suddenly quit your job? The day service system I was using changed, and the number of days I can use a helper has decreased. So I decided to switch to a job I can do from home." She explained her current situation to me. Apparently, her mother needed care, and she had been working while getting help from the city's caregivers. Due to changes in the system, the caregiver was no longer as available, so she had to change her way of working. "I see. I thought you had just grown tired of the job. I'm not in any position to be saying such things. I'm just grateful to have been hired. I never would have guessed you were the president of the company." She concluded her words with. She glanced at the sliding door across the room, behind which her mother, who was under her care, seemed to be sleeping. The room was tidy, but perhaps due to lack of time, the dust was noticeable. "I never imagined I'd end up living like this," she said with a wry smile. "And yet, Ken, you've gone and done the exact opposite, becoming the president of a company. I'm genuinely shocked." Her words made my heart twinge. I occasionally clean my own buildings as a janitor myself, to find out what the employees at work were up to. When she joined the company as a janitor, I was utterly surprised. But she pretended not to recognize me and just kept working hard. After my father passed away, we found out the company was in a lot of debt. It ended up in someone else's hands, and my mother worked herself to the bone trying to pay off the remaining debts until she became bedridden. When things got tough, not a single friend from my student days, when I took advantage of my father's power and did as I pleased, came to help me. Instead, they all drifted away, and I ended up all alone. You were the only one who helped me, Ken." She said this with a bitter smile. I learned that her so-called friends, seeing her in tatters because of the debt, had lied about job offers and even tried to push her into illegal work. Yet, despite her dire situation, I was the only one who gave her a job and trained her properly. "You've had a tough time, huh? It's nothing compared to what you've been through. It's amazing. You've paid off your parents' debts and become the president of the company. I'm nothing like that. I managed to pay off the debts with my father's insurance." "What? I'm in the same boat as you. My parents worked too hard to pay off their debts and ruined their health. Both my father and mother have passed away some time ago. I had no time to mourn their deaths. I was too busy working, and before I knew it, I had become the president." I had no idea. Kathy looked genuinely surprised at my words. "So you'll get through this too." I did, after all. I never expected to be saved by someone I used to look down on. I was truly the worst back then. So, it's only natural that no one would help me. "You're not the same person you were back then." She looked at me with wide eyes, surprised again. "Indeed, I'm a different person now. Having been knocked down a peg, I've gotten much better." With that, she laughed. As I watched her, I was thinking about something. "Hey, if it's okay with you, would you consider taking a more stable job?" "What kind of job?" "But I have to take care of my mom. I think we can work something out with your mom's care. Could you hear me out? If it's just listening, I guess that's okay." Later, I spoke to her, who looked puzzled about a certain facility. A few months later, "Kathy, could you please take care of the bed making over here?" "Sure." Kathy was now working at the assisted living facility I ran. Here, the staff live on the premises and take care of the residents. Kathy's mother had also moved in, and Kathy was working as a full-time. Phew, I'm beat. I hope I can manage to study properly at night. It looks like you're working hard. I said this to her as she struggled with the bed making. Sir, long time no see. She beamed at me when she noticed my presence. How's the job? Is it manageable? It's fine. The staff are all great people, always willing to help me out with work-related issues, and ever since my mother came here, she's become more peaceful and smiles a lot more. That's great to hear. A smile came naturally to my face at her words. To clarify, I hadn't hired her at this facility out of mere goodwill. There is a need for caregivers, and it's a profession where we could really use more hands. Despite the competitive terms offered compared to other job openings, it was hard to gather staff at this facility. It was during such times that I learned about Kathy's situation. We have Kathy assisting with care at this facility while she aims to get her caregiver's certification. But is that okay? To have the company cover the costs for studying and taking the exams? Caregiving is an industry where nurturing talent is crucial. I'm willing to invest in that. Investment, huh? When I hear that word, you look every bit the president. Well, I am the president, actually. I chuckled at her comment. When I was younger, I used to resent Kathy for all the snide remarks she made. But now, I don't feel that way in the slightest. I think of her as an irreplaceable employee, and I'd be happy if she felt a sense of attachment to her workplace. Thanks for everything. It's been tough, but life has a way of working out unexpectedly. Seeing her quietly smile, I truly felt glad I spoke to her. Her past unkind words were indeed awful. But now, she's reflecting on her past and walking down a new path in life. That's why I thought it'd be good to help her with her fresh start, even just a little. I'm sure she'll lead a fulfilling life from now on. And when that time comes, I'll be able to forgive all her past words and actions. Holding her caregiver certification textbook, filled with sticky notes and markers, she was memorizing technical terms in the break room, the arrogant heiress's air long gone. Then on the day of the exam, "Good luck, Kathy. We're rooting for you." She was teary-eyed from all the encouragement from the staff and patrons. I drove her to the station. I feel like I studied harder than when I was a student. Did you write down everything you were told? Of course. Kathy replied, holding her densely written notebook. If you pass, let's celebrate. You don't have to worry about that. I think it'd be nice to have a celebration party with everyone at the facility, including your mom. I think I'd definitely cry. Then make sure you pass. Is that an order from the boss? Huh, you can think of it that way. A smile peeked through her tense face. Arriving at the station, I opened a passenger door for her and had a sudden thought. Right, once business settles down, maybe I should take the college grad exam too. You made me want to study. Really? Kathy's eyes widened slightly with delight. Oh no, I feel a huge responsibility now. I'll make sure I pass. So you have to do your best too, Ken. Remember, I hadn't forgotten when you said I could make it to college on my own if I set my mind to it. Did I say that? Well, it does feel like I could actually do it. Anyway, just do your best, Kathy. Yes, boss, I'm so glad to work for you, and I want to keep working even more, so I'll do my best. With that, Kathy headed for the station. A completely different look from her usual tired one. Her heartfelt smile was dazzling. And months later, the whole facility rejoiced when she was notified that she had passed the examinations. Kathy, receiving bouquets from everyone at the celebration party, no longer had the timid and tired expression from her cleaning days. And now, I am studying for my college degree while running the company. It's not just her changing, I'm changing too. Realizing this, I also realized the significance of her presence. Once I pass this exam, maybe it's time to move our relationship forward a bit. Thinking about this, I'm working hard at studying and my job today.